A luxury handbag can look simple when it rests on a store shelf. Clean stitching, smooth surfaces, a carefully shaped silhouette, something designed to carry everyday essentials while also making a statement. But what if that bag did not begin with animal leather at all? Some modern luxury bags can be made using innovative mushroom-based materials created from fungal roots known as mycelium. This unusual biological material can be processed into sheets with a leather-like appearance and feel, opening the door to a different approach to fashion. People see the finished bags in boutiques, showrooms, and online stores. They carry them to work, travel with them, or use them as everyday accessories. Yet almost nobody sees what happens before that moment. Behind the finished bag is a carefully controlled journey involving biology, material processing, drying, pressing, finishing, cutting, stitching, inspection, packaging, and distribution. And it all begins with something that looks nothing like a luxury handbag. The finished product is a premium handbag made from a mushroom-derived material designed to imitate many of the useful characteristics of traditional leather. The key material is mycelium, the dense network of microscopic fungal fibers that forms the root-like structure of mushrooms, instead of treating this biological network simply as something found in nature. Manufacturers can cultivate and process it into a structured material. That is what makes the process so interesting. The goal is not merely to grow mushrooms. The goal is to control biological growth and transform it into a consistent material that can be cut, shaped, colored, finished, and assembled into a high-quality fashion product. For luxury manufacturers, consistency is critical. Every sheet needs predictable thickness, strength, flexibility, and surface quality. So the journey moves from biological cultivation into a highly controlled industrial environment. Inside the facility, the process begins with incoming materials used to cultivate and develop the mycelium. Depending on the production system, these materials can include agricultural plant-based substrates, nutrients, water, and other controlled inputs required for fungal growth. They arrive at the facility in bulk containers, bags, bins, or sealed transport systems. Workers and material handling equipment move the incoming supplies toward designated preparation areas. Forklifts can transport large loads, while conveyors and automated handling equipment help keep materials moving efficiently. At this point, nothing resembles leather. The raw ingredients are simply the foundation for producing the biological network that will eventually become the material. Careful unloading matters because contamination, incorrect quantities, or poor storage conditions at the beginning can affect every stage that follows. Before cultivation begins, the incoming substrate must be prepared. Large pieces are separated, unwanted debris is removed, and materials are processed into a more consistent form. Depending on the production method, the substrate may be cleaned, screened, mixed with water, and conditioned to achieve the moisture level needed for controlled growth. The material then moves through preparation equipment where particles are made more uniform. This consistency is important. Mycelium grows through the material rather than simply sitting on its surface, so uneven moisture or contamination can create weak areas. The prepared substrate is therefore treated as carefully as an industrial manufacturer would treat any important raw material. Once the foundation is ready, the biological transformation can begin. The prepared materials are measured into controlled batches. Here, industrial equipment can combine the substrate with the necessary nutrients and moisture in carefully controlled proportions. Mixing systems distribute these ingredients evenly so that the growing material has a consistent environment throughout the batch. The mixture is then formed into controlled growth beds, trays, panels, or other cultivation structures. As the mycelium develops, its microscopic fibers spread through the prepared material, gradually binding the structure together. What begins as loose agricultural material slowly becomes a dense biological network. The texture changes, the structure becomes more connected, and eventually, the material is ready for the most important transformation of the entire process. This is where the biological material becomes an engineered sheet. After reaching the required density and structure, the mycelium-based material is separated from the cultivation stage and carefully processed. Heat treatment or other controlled methods can be used to stop further biological growth and stabilize the material. The material is then compressed, dried, and pressed under controlled conditions. Large industrial presses apply pressure to create a more uniform structure. This step is critical because luxury materials cannot simply depend on natural growth patterns. They need predictable thickness, flexibility, strength, and surface characteristics. The resulting sheets can then receive additional treatments that improve their durability and appearance. At this point, the original mushroom root network has been transformed into something remarkably different. It is no longer simply a biological growth medium. It has become a workable material designed for fashion manufacturing. Now the material finally enters the handbag production line. Large sheets are inspected and positioned for cutting. Computer-controlled cutting systems can create precise patterns for the bag's front, back, sides, handles, straps, and smaller components. The pieces are then transferred to skilled sewing and assembly stations. Workers align edges, join panels, attach hardware, and create the structure of the bag. Depending on the design, additional lining, reinforcement layers, zippers, clasps, handles, and decorative components may be added. Machines handle repetitive stitching and joining operations, while skilled workers perform delicate steps that require judgment and precision. Gradually, flat pieces become a recognizable handbag. Every seam must align, every edge must sit correctly, and every component has to work together before the bag can leave the production floor. A luxury product cannot be finished simply because it looks good from a distance. Each bag goes through detailed inspection. Workers examine the surface for scratches, irregular textures, stains, weak areas, or visible defects. Stitching is checked for straightness and consistency. Handles are inspected for alignment and strength. Hardware is tested to make sure clasps, zippers, and fasteners operate correctly. Some manufacturers can also use measurement tools, cameras, or controlled testing systems to verify dimensions and material performance. If a defect is discovered, the item may be sent back for correction. If it cannot meet the required standard, it is rejected. This stage protects more than the product. It protects the reputation of the brand and ensures that the customer receives a bag that performs as expected. Once a handbag passes inspection, it enters the packaging area. The finished bags are carefully protected from dust, moisture, scratches, and accidental damage. Depending on the brand, the bag may be placed inside protective fabric, fitted into a structured box, and accompanied by product documentation. Labels and identification codes are added so the item can be tracked through the supply chain. Multiple finished packages are then grouped for transportation. Cartons may move along conveyors while workers or automated systems organize them into larger shipping units. The packaging process may appear simple, but it is an important final layer of protection between the factory and the customer. From packaging, the finished products move into the warehouse. Here, organization becomes essential. Each shipment is identified, scanned, and recorded in an inventory system. Pallets and cartons are moved by forklifts or other material handling equipment into designated storage locations. Some modern facilities use automated inventory systems to track exactly where products are located. This allows workers to find specific models, colors, or quantities quickly when an order arrives. The warehouse is effectively the bridge between manufacturing and the outside market. The bags are finished, but their journey is not over. They are now waiting for the moment when they are requested by a distributor, retailer, showroom, or regional warehouse. When orders are ready, warehouse teams retrieve the required products. Packages are moved toward the loading area, where workers prepare them for transportation. Forklifts transfer pallets to trucks, while smaller shipments may be handled individually. From there, the handbags enter the wider distribution network. Some travel to regional warehouses, others move directly toward retail stores, luxury boutiques, showrooms, or fulfillment centers. Depending on the destination, transportation can involve road freight, air cargo, or other logistics networks.
Yes, all clear on
What
this
began
side.
as biological material grown under controlled conditions is now moving through a global commercial system. The factory has completed its work. But the transformation is finally reaching the place where it matters most to the customer. Inside a boutique or showroom, the journey becomes almost invisible. A finished handbag is placed under carefully arranged lighting, surrounded by other products designed to catch the customer's attention. There is no sign of the original cultivation trays, no visible trace of the agricultural substrate, no obvious reminder that the material began as a network of fungal roots. The customer sees only the finished product. They examine its shape, texture, stitching, color, hardware, and details. Then comes the final step, the purchase. The bag leaves the store and enters everyday life. It may be carried to an office, taken on a journey, used for shopping, or simply worn as part of someone's personal style. And that is what makes this manufacturing journey so fascinating. A material that began with a biological network is gradually transformed through controlled cultivation, preparation, pressing, finishing, precision cutting, skilled assembly, inspection, packaging, and global distribution. By the time it reaches a customer's hands, the original mushroom roots are almost impossible to recognize. What looks like an ordinary luxury accessory is actually the final chapter of a remarkable industrial story, one that begins with biology and ends with a product designed for modern everyday life.